Hey everyone, welcome back to the Motion Master. Today we're diving into the topic of work and energy. These are two key ideas that describe how forces cause movement and how energy changes from one form to another. So first of all, work in physics happens when a force moves an object in the direction of, of that force. So the formula is W is equal to F times D times cosine of theta, which work is in joules, force is in newtons, distance in meters, and in this case, theta is the angle between the force and motion direction. Okay, for example, let's say I have this box, and if we push the box in the same direction, as the motion, so the angle theta would be 0, and the cosine of 0 is 1. So, just for the sake of the example, let's say we push it with a force of 20 newtons for a distance of 3 meters. And, okay, the force is in the same direction, so in this case the work would be 20 times 3 times the cosine of 0, which is 1. Okay, so now we have energy. Okay, energy is simply the ability to do work. There are many types of energy, but the two main ones we'll focus on are potential energy and kinetic energy. First of all, potential energy is stored energy because of position or height. So the formula for potential energy is equal to the mass times the gravity times the height. So gravity is acceleration downwards, and it's always 9.8 meters per second squared, and mass in kilograms and height in meters. So, for example, if I lift a 5 kilogram backpack, so this is 5 kilogram, 2 meters from the floor. So, okay, so the potential energy would be 5 times 2 times 5 times 9.8 times 2, and that would be 98 joules. Perfect. And we also have kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is the energy of motion. It's a little bit more complicated, and this is a formula. Kinetic energy is equal to 1/2 times the mass of the object times the velocity. So it's velocity squared. So let's say that same backpack I was just talking about, so it has a mass of 5, and let's say it falls at a velocity of 4 meters per second squared. So 4 L2 square, and that would be 1 times 5 times 16, which is 80 divided by 2, which is 40. So the kinetic energy in this case would be 40 joules. Okay, so these two are everywhere. When you climb stairs, when your body does work against gravity, like jumping for example, it is storing potential energy. When you ride a bike downhill, that potential energy turns into kinetic energy. Even things like charging your phone or lifting weights involves work. They transfer energy from one form to another. Okay, so let's do an example. Let's solve one. Okay, a student applies a force of 50 newtons to push a box 4 meters forward. So the work formula is force times distance times the cosine of theta, which is because it is in the same direction. And so the theta angle is 0, and the cosine of 0 is 1. So 50 times 4 times 1 is 200, and work is measured in joules. So yeah, that's basically it. That is work and energy, how forces create movements, and how energy changes forms. See you on the next video.